I saw that.
Starting live.
I am live as well, ma'am.
We are now live on Hollywood Matrimony.
So you going to join us?
I'm joining us now, live. Suddenly, I'm here. Hello.
Sawadee Cup.
Welcome to this week's episode of Hollywood Matrimony Live. Thank you so much for watching us right now on Facebook and on the YouTube.
Why are you yelling?
Or as my dad calls it, El Facebook, El YouTube. Because that's what it's called, obviously. Make sure you check out our website, HollywoodMatrimony.com. Don't forget, we're also on the Instagram and the Twitter. I'm not yelling. I am projecting. Projecting! Anyways, we're going to talk about some movies.
It looks like some kind of a weird 1970s.
Why is your camera crooked?
I told you it was crooked. I don't know if yours is, but I told you mine was.
I haven't even gotten that. Well, you should have told me to fix it.
I told you, and then I said I didn't care anymore.
I know my face itches. We went outside and we were walking.
We're having all kinds of drama.
And my allergies are just on fire.
Today is not a technologically good day.
It's not.
My class.
Technology.
My class links didn't work today, so I had to cancel my Muay Thai class. And now this camera's sitting all cattywampus.
My hair looks pretty good, though.
Now, candidates on your head.
I do need a haircut. It is way too long. I'm thinking I'm going to cut all this part off right there.
Why?
Just because. All right, people are watching us. Thank you so much for logging. We're letting people log in. We're just going to chit-chat. Anyways, thank you so much. Happy Mother's Day to all the mothers, fathers.
Why do you say Happy Mother's Day to the fathers?
Because what if they are a single parent?
Then they get the Father's Day.
Well, I'm going to say Happy Mother's
Day. See, I've never understood
that.
I get the idea of saying, I know you're both sides, that I know you're having to stand in and be both people, but it's not like they don't get a day. So, like, it means being a father.
Happy State Parents Day.
Yeah, you shouldn't tell me. That makes more sense. You shouldn't tell me Happy Mother's Day if I'm a single father. You just wait until Father's Day comes and say Happy Father's Day, because I have a day. In reality, you don't have to tell me either one, because I think they're shams created by the greeting card companies.
It probably is. Step Parents Day is September 16th.
Nobody has that.
Hey, that's our wedding anniversary.
On the 16th?
Mm-hmm.
Who knew?
I did. So that's so awesome. What about Adopted Parents Day?
But they already gave you a Mother's Day.
It doesn't matter.
So that means you get 2 days.
Whatever. They get Parents' Day. Who knows? Anyways, okay, are we all here? I think we're all here. We're ready to go.
I have one person.
I've got a person.
I don't know.
I don't even know.
Who?
I did.
Oh, they left you?
We took too long.
Okay.
All right. Thank you so much. We're going to talk about some movies. Even though the theaters are not opening yet. They can open if they want to, but no one's opening because there's nothing to show.
A lot of them, I know, like AMC, and I think it was Regal, excuse me, both said that they weren't going to open until new movies came out. So I think July is when the first things are still scheduled to come out. I could be wrong, but I think that's when.
Wow. I know we also received a survey from Alamo Drafthouse saying, hey, if we opened, would you come watch some of these classic films or some horror films? They're trying to create content.
Well,
which Alamo always does.
Yeah, anyway. That's their normal routine, so they're not really changing anything. But they're looking on their different things on how to set things up to make people feel comfortable, possibly doing you have to spend this amount of money on food.
Which I do anyway.
Yeah, which I think some people may be like, oh, this food's so expensive, but you have to look at their justifying the cost because they're not going to sell as many tickets.
Yeah.
So I know some people that go to the theater there just to watch the movie there. They don't eat any food, they don't get drinks because they complain about it being too expensive. And I'm like, if I'm just going to go to a theater, I'm going to probably go to one of the bigger, nicer, booming system theaters.
I'm going there for the food.
Yeah, don't get me wrong. I love the ambiance of Alamo,
and that they enforce the no talking, no cell phone.
Sort of.
I do like that.
They say they do, but I've seen them where they don't really.
Well, no one's ever bothered us, but we also sit up at the very top corner, away from people. So this really isn't going to change our movie experience much. We already sit in the far corner, away from people.
We try to avoid people. Unless there's like the Star Wars or something, you don't have a choice.
Yeah. Unless you're packed in there like sardines. Yeah. But anyways, even though theaters aren't open, we are still watching movies. There are still new things coming out online. And we're still getting some video releases. So that's what we're going to be talking about today. What? Where do you want to start?
Well, we only got 3 today.
4.
Oh, I always forget you have the other one.
Yes.
So I have one, you have one, and then we have two together.
And we have two together.
So what would you like to talk about?
What was the order in which we watched these?
I don't know anymore. The order doesn't matter. Nobody else knows what order we watch anything either.
All right. Why don't you tell me about one of yours?
Okay. So I watched, which we were supposed to watch together, but timing wasn't working out because someone kept going to sleep every time we tried to watch anything. And then I goes to work, blah, blah, blah.
My office is opening up slowly, so I'm having to go to work a few days a week.
It wouldn't have made any difference. She still would not have gotten. For the last 3 to 4 years, we've struggled to try to watch movies together because she's always like, well, let's watch this movie. I'm gung-ho. And then when we finally do get around to watch it, she's like,
how? No, I know. He's reenacting me sleeping.
So,
I get it. I get it.
So,
hello,
anyway,
people. Not sit down. Sit down.
For those of you that know of, which if you haven't seen this outside of her, you've probably been living on a rock if you don't know what it is, but it's an iconic comedy. I'm super sleepy all of it.
Okay, great. We'll just talk about our movies.
It's super sleepy movie. No, it's an iconic comedy, The Big Lebowski, right? Now, they released this 20th anniversary edition 4K not long ago, along with a set that had a bowling ball bag looking thing and all kinds of stuff. But in this movie, John Turturro played a character named Jesus. And he literally
Jesus and not Jesus?
No, he says, you don't mess with the Jesus, man.
Oh.
So,
okay.
He's a rival bowler / criminal.
Okay.
He's literally only in the movie maybe 10 minutes total. But they're great scenes. It's like him threatening John Goodman and Jeff Bridges and, all about their bowling. He talks about pulling, he goes, you threatened me with that gun, I'll put the barrel up your butt and pull the trigger until it clicks, and then his whole thing where he licks the bowling ball before he throws, he's all because he's super sexual. So anyway, so 20 years ago, we got introduced to a character. John Turturro, apparently, he thought the role was going to be a lot bigger when he originally took it. But the Coen brothers let him basically create the character. And so the way his mannerisms, the way he looks, the way he does was all him. So now years later, even though it's not officially studio-wise a sequel or spinoff of this movie, that he did get permission from them to use the character. And he's now made a follow-up or spinoff called The Jesus Rolls. And it follows Jesus. What is his last name? Jesus Quintana. It follows him. He just gets out of prison. And for me, it was like, was he in prison? I don't remember him going to prison in the other movie. And he didn't. It was other stuff. But there's a scene in The Big Lebowski when they're first talking about him. They first introduce him, and John Goodman's talking like calls him a pedophile to Jeff Bridges. He's like, what? He goes, yeah, dude. He was exposing himself to children, and he had to go around and tell everybody, So there's a small scene of him showing him go to somebody's houses to tell them what happened. This movie shows the scene of what happened. Oh. And it literally was just, because he keeps saying it was a misunderstanding, man. And in the scene, he's at the urinal with a kid, and the kid's, like, they're spaced apart, and the kid's saying something to him, and he says something back to the kid. He ends up turning, and he's talking to the kid, but his penis is still out. And somebody walks in and sees him. Yeah. But he is a criminal, so it wasn't unheard of. So the movie starts off with him getting out of jail, and he meets up with his best pal, played by Bobby Cannavale. And this essentially becomes this road trip where they're just trying to find their way. They run into John Hamm.
It seems so bizarre.
It is. John Hamm runs a beauty salon, so they deal with him. They ends up an old friend of his jumps in with him, and she's like this free thinker. So there's a lot of sexual exploits, but she's also never experienced real passion. Pete Davidson shows up. Susan Sarandon shows up. It is an awesome movie. It is so good. It's quirky. It's just like The Big Lebowski on the stance of it's strange at times. It's not as trippy as some of the moments in Lebowski is. Okay. There are bowling sequences, so you get some of the bowling in there, where you get Jesus bowling, licking the ball, and doing all the stuff you expect to see him do. But it's a good. Turturro directed it. He wrote it. It's based off of a book. Does it say it on here? Yeah, I can't even read it it's so small. Les Valsus. Anyway, It's based on, I think, a French book of some sort.
Oh,
or maybe it's a French movie. I don't know. Or based on the book. There it is. It's based on a book. So yeah. I have one for Ant-Man.
Oh my gosh.
It's like super tiny. If you look, you can barely read it down here. But they basically took this book and then he put Jesus Quintana in the role.
Nice.
And so he created a new story. And of course, you couldn't go out this film without at least doing Jesus Takes the Wheel up here. Because they're on a road trip.
That is crazy and funny at the same time.
Yeah, but it's a great little movie. It's funny, it's heartfelt, it's silly, it's ridiculous, it's everything Big Lebowski was, and I might have to say it's just as good as the Big Lebowski in its own way. It's just a different movie. So it's hitting Blu-ray and DVD this week. So if you want to check it out, go find it. I was super excited to get this one. I thought this was gonna be one of the ones that got lost in the Corona shuffle.
The Corona.
Because there were things that were there was things I was supposed to get that didn't get. But this is one of the ones I did. I'm glad it's here. The Jesus Rolls. Who put this out? Screen Media Films. That's who's putting this one out. So if you like the Big Lebowski, check this out. What's good about this movie is you don't have to have seen the Big Lebowski.
Okay. You can that's why I didn't watch it necessarily, because I was like, oh.
Yeah, I wasn't sure.
I don't know anything about the dude.
Connect. That's why I wanted us to rewatch. I wanted the other one because you haven't watched the Big Lebowski.
The dude.
And then I didn't end up rewatching the Big Lebowski either again. I just went right into this one. I'm like, I had a couple of questions. So I popped on YouTube and I'm like, show Jesus Quintana Big Lebowski scenes, and it plays like all over like two little scenes.
Oh, okay.
Then I was like, oh yeah, okay. You remember him because he's such a memorable character, but you remember that he's in the movie way more than he actually is. Yeah. So anyway, the Jesus Rolls hit shelves this week, so check it out.
There you go. All right. Next, what do we want to talk about?
What you talk about the next chapter of Paramount Classics?
Paramount presents. So I think we talked about number 1 and number 4 or something.
No, it had to be like 3 or something.
No, because this is number 3.
Then mine had to be number 2. Because that was the only 3 that they had put out at the time.
All right, so this is the new Paramount Presents collection, which we talked about last week. They are releasing, it seems like one movie from each decade or so.
Something like that, yeah.
Anyways, this is To Catch a Thief, starring Cary Grant and
Emmylou Harris.
No. Grace Kelly. It slipped my mind for 1 second. This is another one of those where I'm going to do this. It has this cool box cover where you open it and it's the movie poster. Isn't that cute?
Whee!
This is interesting because if you look, Cary Grant at this moment had essentially kind of retired. He was like, I'm kind of done making movies. I'm too old.
So this is older Cary Grant?
Yeah, so he's 50 when he comes back to this. He's a very svelte looking, nice looking 50.
Is he?
But Grace Kelly's only like 20 something. She's like 25, 26.
That's old.
Does she?
Yeah.
And that's an interesting thing. So you know how I've complained about this in movies in our time period, but this was happening back then. The older man, younger woman. But I mean, she does look older than 25. She looks like she's maybe 30.
Yeah.
But this isn't.
Do they mention their ages in the movie, or is it just?
No, it comes up in some of the behind the scenes footage.
Gotcha.
Now, if you got to know the history here, this is an Alfred Hitchcock movie. It's one of those whodunit thrillers. And he loved Grace Kelly. Mm-hmm. Like, he loved her.
Hitchcock was a little bit of a perv.
A little bit. So, I mean, he was just like, she's going to be a star. I'm going to make her a star. So, here we go with this movie. Basically, Cary Grant is a cat burglar, but he's reformed his ways. He stopped doing that.
Is he an actual cat?
Yes. Okay. And he goes to live out his days in a beautiful villa in Italy. But then somebody starts cat burglaring again. And of course,
somebody starts cat burglaring.
Yes, they start stealing some jewels.
So does somebody start like trying to lure in children and stuff in this too?
No.
Is that not this?
No. Ooh, what are you talking about?
It's To Catch a Thief, right?
Yeah. No, that's To Catch a Predator with the other guy. Oh my gosh. So someone starts committing crimes, but in the same style that he used to. So, of course, they think it's him. So they're chasing him. A copycat burglar. So he's trying to avoid the police and solve the crime himself to clear his name. Grace Kelly and her mother are one of the victims, and then they put out more jewels to try and lure the thief, and it's a whole whodunit thing. All right. It's interesting in this time period. This is 1955. It's not as suspenseful and as it is these days, but I think you have to go back into that time period. And
because we have a jaded mentality of film at this point. It's like watching. I was talking to somebody recently about I Spit on Your Grave.
Oh, and the original or the new?
Well, they were talking about how they were watching it and they had to turn it off. They couldn't get through it.
The new one?
And they needed a break. And
oh, okay.
And I'm like, which one did you watch? And they were watching the new one. And I'm like, yeah. But then I'm like, if you go back and watch the other one, I said, have you seen the other one? And they were like, yeah, it really bothered me, disturbed me. But I'm like, if you really watch a lot of stuff now, I say, yeah, that movie was banned all over the world. But you watch it now, you're like, it's pretty tame in comparison, but you have to put your mindset.
You have to be in the time period. That thing.
You know, it's still messed up. Don't get me wrong.
They're both messed up.
Yeah, they're horribly messed up. But it's like watching a horror movie now as opposed to one that maybe be in the 50s, the 70s. May not be as gory or graphic, but the tonal or whatever. So.
And so that's how this is. It's 1955. But you know what I did notice in this is the music. They did such beautiful orchestration, like, because they did orchestra music. It's not like you have like Tupac rapping in your soundtrack. This is beautiful orchestration that tries to create that suspense and the of the movie. What? I know you love Tupac. It's okay.
Don't be taking his name in vain.
No, I'm not. I'm just saying it's different. So you have to really get yourself into the mindset that, okay, this is the 50s. We're making an amazing movie. And this was a really good movie. I really enjoyed it. I'd never seen it. Of course, I've heard of it. And I know Alfred Hitchcock and all this thing. So,
you knew Alfred Hitchcock?
Yes. And, you know, he really wanted to make something amazing and thrilling. And he wrote this with Cary Grant in mind, got him in the movie. Of course, he loved Grace Kelly. So, I mean, we have a really good cast. And the interesting thing, too, is that the scenery is big. We're in Italy. And so the scenes and the sets are huge, but the cast is small. You only have maybe 8 main people with dialogue. So I feel like if you think about it in the mindset of put this on a stage, this would be a great play. I mean, I think it is. But you put in the music,
numerous shows,
and the sound, this music soundtrack of it, create the suspense, and you're trying to figure out what's happening. I liked it. It's cute. I mean,
Chris Hansen never shows up.
The Chris Hansen's not in it. He's not. Right? Yeah, he's not there to catch a predator. It's a really good movie. I mean,
is this what Catch a Predator is based off of?
No. Okay. Oh my gosh, it was a really good movie. It is a classic. I think you probably need to watch it. They're both really beautiful people. So,
like Marilyn Manson?
Yes. So this is probably another one. And so I'm glad this Paramount Presents thing is happening because I'm getting to see movies that I've heard of but I've never seen.
And we have another one for next week.
Yeah, and so I think it's really important.
But no one for next week she's seen though.
I'm glad that they're going through the decades with us and bringing us some really good things. So watch the behind the scenes commentary. I like they have Leonard Martin on there. Moulton. Sorry.
Who's Leonard Martin?
Moulton. I love
Good old Leonard Martin.
He is so smart. Yeah. And I used to watch him too. He would do little bits on Turner Classic Movies. I don't know if they even have that show, the TV channel.
Like Leonard Martin.
Moulton.
Yes, they still Turner Classic.
Anyways, that was a great channel too. You should watch that. But it has behind the scenes commentary. It has a little look back at Alfred Hitchcock and his film history. And I love the trailers. They have the original theatrical trailer, and you know they have like
the
words.
Big words that shake.
I love
suspense, terror.
I love it. Anyways. You should watch it. It's really good. There you go.
Good.
Next.
All right. All right. Well, the next two we both saw the same day.
We did?
Yeah, we watched the two the same day.
Oh.
So what do you want to talk about first?
We were into movies.
We have a Netflix film and we have another Blu-ray coming out.
Okay. Let's talk about that one.
Which one's that one?
The Photograph.
Oh, yes, it is. The Photograph, a movie I didn't expect to show up because
with the pretty lady with the beautiful teeth,
Issa Rae. I don't know if it's Issa or Issa. I'm assuming it's Issa. Issa Rae and Lakeith Stanfield.
I like him too.
Yeah. And this is another one of those that big props to Universal.
She's so
I didn't think they were sending anything out, and this suddenly showed up at our house. I was very excited.
There you go.
I wasn't even excited about this movie. I was like, something happened. Something showed up. Life still exists outside. Somewhere not Paramount.
Yeah. But you know what? They're the ones that have been consistent.
Paramount I've been constantly getting stuff from, and then some of the random.
Shout out to them. However they're doing their production. I mean, they've been consistently sending stuff.
Yeah, I got new stuff from them this week too.
So.
But big props to Universal. They got stuff out as well, and hopefully all of it's going to start opening up in the next week or so. Because now that things are opening back up, they should be able to get some people. It just may slow down how much they send or what they send. Yeah. There's some of them that are shipped. What I fear is going to happen though, that I dread, obviously because I have a movie problem, is a lot of the companies have been wanting to go to straight digital screeners and not send out physical copies anymore. And I hate that with a passion. Not just because I want a copy of it. I don't like watching stuff digitally.
I know.
Like, I don't mind watching a Netflix or Hulu or Amazon movie or something, but I hate having to watch it on my computer. And I hate when you cast it from your computer or whatever, sometimes they freeze or they distort or whatever. I hate all that. Like, I want to be able to. I'm like it's like a thing with books. I like having a copy of a movie in my hand.
I like physical books.
Or I like it somewhere where it's going to play that I don't have any control or issues with. You just hit the button and go.
Well, I'm wondering. So that one time we had a link, we had to download a program to watch it. Do you think they'll just start doing that for movie reviewers?
All of them. Here's
the platform.
Almost every screener I have is like that.
Okay.
I just have all the platforms now because they send them. But it's still the same thing.
Do you think they'll make it like an app on the app?
Well, some of them are. Some of them they put on Vidmo and Voodoo or whatever.
Just a better way to watch it instead of having
the problem. Like I said, the problem is you're streaming via the internet.
I know.
And so sometimes they stutter stuff.
Like our Netflix did not work for a whole month properly.
Yeah, and it was
bad.
And it hadn't. And there was nothing wrong with it. It was coming on. It just the movies wouldn't play. It just would freeze everything you picked.
It was horrible.
But every other streaming thing worked. So it was just weird. So anyway.
We got a physical copy. We were happy.
The photograph. I was just surprised. I saw something from someone else. This is one of those movies that I do like both these actors, but I didn't have a lot of interest in the movie. Mainly because I thought it's just going to be another, romantic drama, love film, which I'm okay with, but it just didn't have anything that was really interesting to me.
Yeah.
Lil Ray Howery. I can't say his name. Anyway, he's in there as well, who I love. But decided let's dive in. I don't know what your feeling was about seeing this movie.
I really liked this movie. I wanted to see it.
That wasn't the question I asked, but I guess we're going into it.
I did want to see it.
Okay.
I was interested in it. It looked interesting. I liked the idea that we're bouncing in time.
The story's a little different than what I thought it was from the trailer.
Yeah, so basically
I thought she was just like discovering who her mother was and then how she was.
She was.
Well, she already knew who her mother was, though.
No.
She didn't. No. Okay.
She knew her mother.
You're misunderstanding my statement. Yes, I didn't even think she knew that this was the first time she realized this is my mother, and now I'm going to figure out who it is. She knew her mother because she was at least 4 or 5 years old.
She just didn't know.
Yeah, she didn't know all the stuff about her and things that she went through.
What do you mean 4 or 5 years old?
How old she was before her mom was gone.
Her mom was never gone, babe. Her mom was all the way until she was an adult.
Well, yeah, you know what I mean. She was. I know, but I'm talking about all the story and everything that was happening and the things that she didn't know happened.
Yeah. Okay. Let me break it down for you. There is a lady.
There is a man.
She's a photographer.
In that box.
Okay. Lady, she's a photographer. Doesn't really get along well with her mom. So she's like, I'm setting out into the big wide world. I'm going to go be a photographer. Her mom's like, you need to get your own house and learn how to take care of things because that's not any way to make a living. The lady goes off and she has the baby, who is now our main character, May. And so the lady gets married. Life goes on. Somehow, I don't think this is like a surprise, May becomes kind of a photographer, curator at a magazine, gallery, whatever. And then her mom dies. It's not. We know
her mom's dead.
It's in the trailer. And then as she starts unpacking her mom's things, this story begins to unravel and she starts to find out who her mom really was. She didn't have a really tight relationship with her mom. And you find out through the conversations with what's his name on the cover, her dad. It's like, your mom just wasn't good in expressing emotions.
She didn't like saying goodbye. She didn't like saying.
She didn't share who she was personally, anything about her personal life. So
this movie is actually told in 3 parts. It's told in the photographer's point of view of his story, her story, and then the flashback of the mom's
story. And it's
intertwined and sometimes confusing, only because some of the characters look so similar.
Like her and her mom, her and her younger mom look the same.
So sometimes you got to take a couple steps back and realize, oh, okay, we're on this part of the time period.
Yeah.
If it wasn't for the clothing and something like that, it would be a little harder to figure out.
Yeah.
They don't look exactly the same. It's not that. It's just there's no real. That was one of my issues with the film, because I enjoyed the movie, but one of the issues was the transitions.
Yeah.
They were very abrupt. They just kind of went, like me and you were talking, all of a sudden we're in the past, and then all of a sudden we're back in there. So it wasn't a.
I think they were trying to show the similarities between her and her mom, even though she didn't know that there were similarities. And I that made me think, that whole thing, like how you become your parents. I think in a certain way we really do without knowing. I think, is that just biology, or?
It's also learned behaviors and the people you run. It's like you're around anybody, you take on some of their persona, their mannerisms, their habits. Do
you think you've turned into your parents? Or I've turned into mine.
You're so your parents.
I feel like I'm more like my grandmother than anyone else. Like I have a lot of her mannerisms. I'm very much an old lady. I have very much an old lady.
She always has Werther's in her pocket.
Tastes and habits, and
she bought butter pecan ice cream.
That's old Mexican lady.
And pecan sandies cookies.
I like pecan sandies. Oh, you know what? Because my grandmother. I grew up with my grandmother.
Oh, that's so funny.
So.
And then she's in there with her. She's in there.
I do have pocket candy.
While everybody's freaking out about bleach or whatever, she's got like this bucket of water sitting on the counter, and she's washing the counters, and it just stays there. So it's like this. It's like it's an old Mexican lady, like, the counter needs to be washed off, and it's already prepared. So
I have a bucket of Fabuloso cleaner already done.
I like how you just said that, and you put a Spanish twist on it.
It's Fabuloso. Everybody knows Fabuloso. You buy it at the store. It's lavender smells. Anyways, I have a bucket of cleaning water. And I dip my rag in the bucket and I clean the counters. It's ready to go. I am an old lady.
You are.
I'm essentially turned into my grandmother already. Sure. I think who you turned into, your dad or your mom?
I don't think either one. I think I'm there. Obviously, I have.
You look a little like your dad.
I look a lot like my dad, but I have traits from both of them on some level. But I think I'm pretty far removed from them both.
Yeah.
Because I'm polar opposite of everything they are.
That's true.
Because my mom is very. My mom's funny and silly and goofy.
I think you got that part.
But she's also kind of paranoid. She's indecisive.
You're not that.
She's worried about what other people think. Where my dad is not in a bad way, but he's kind of the control freak guy. He has very straight ways that things need to be done. He doesn't like nonsense unless it's him doing the nonsense. He doesn't like if somebody else is doing the nonsense to him. And I think I'm just kind of me, and I think I'd drive them crazy because I turn on both of them.
No.
Not in a bad way. I love them.
But in this one, you do see the similarities, and I think that's why the stories are kind of running parallel and going back and forth. And it's a love story, but I feel like it's also a love story of her with her mom, because she didn't get to know who her mom really was.
I would watch the remake of this movie with Michael Dudikoff.
Oh, Lord, we're not doing that right now.
Yeah, what?
No. Let's talk about the movie.
You wouldn't watch The Photograph starring Michael Dudikoff? Do you know who Michael Dudikoff is?
I don't remember.
Michael Dudikoff is American Ninja.
Oh, Lord. No.
Very nice man. I interviewed him one time. He's a very nice guy. Yeah.
Anyway.
My big issue with this movie...
you couldn't hear it.
Well, that's a personal thing that I don't write in a review, because that has nothing to do with the movie.
That's you.
That's me.
It's your bad ears.
My issue was there are so many little nuances that are revealed, but it's not done in a way that you don't know it's already going to happen. So it's very straightforward. You know what I mean? There's like some...
Yeah, like I knew about that one.
Yeah, you knew from the beginning when you started seeing it, it's like, okay, this is going to be this person is this person, this is what's going to happen. Mm-hmm. So I felt, and it was probably by design, they probably weren't trying to make a secret twist, but I felt it would have had more impact for some of the emotional stuff had, instead of like, what? Oh my God, that's who that is? Because you can tell they crafted part of the story to make you believe something and then spin it on you, but we kind of knew right out the gate. So I think what makes this movie work as well as it does, it is an intriguing story and it's an interesting take on the romantic drama. And I think it's crafted well, but I think it's their chemistry that makes it work.
Yeah.
The two leads carry the movie very well. They have that kind of chemistry that's two people that want to be together but don't think they should be together, and they want to fight their emotions because they just, it's got a little bit of everything of like a real life relationship. It kind of reminded me of our relationship early on, where we wanted to be together but you weren't really there, or if we did get close you'd push me away and I'd be like, come on, and then we're like, fine, well, no, it was just, it was a very, it was kind of back and forth thing, but it was work because of them.
Yeah.
Beyond that,
I liked them. They were good in it.
Yeah.
They were good. And I think the other guy that's in the flashback, that's kind of the on again, off again of the
original boyfriend, whatever.
Yeah. That he was really good too. I liked him. I think his name was Isaac or something.
His name's Fred.
Isaac, was it? Rob Morgan, who played Isaac.
Oh, I was like, saying, you couldn't have been more wrong when you said, I think it was Isaac.
Yeah, the character.
I let you know about the actor, and then you said his name was whatever, Fred Morgan.
Yeah, he was good. He was good. I liked him. And then there was a younger version of him, though, too. Young Isaac. Ian Noel. That's a pretty name. Ian. It's got an apostrophe. He's the one I liked.
He's familiar. What is he from? Scroll down.
Known for the first Purge.
Oh, is he on Insecure with her?
Yeah. And he's on the first Purge. Okay.
Well, the girl, I believe that's her. Click on Insecure, because I think that's Issa Rae's show.
Oh, okay. Yep, it is.
Yeah, so he's on that show with her, or has been on that show. So
yeah, I liked him. I hadn't seen very much of him before. The Hustle, Insecure, the first Purge, Weekend Photograph. Okay, I like him. He's really good, whoever he is, and especially because we have to go back in time period into this time period, and it was cool. I liked it. There were a few moments where you're like, okay, what?
Yeah,
because of the switching.
And it is slow.
It is slow,
but it's slow. Prepared. Yeah, because it's a dialogue movie. It's a real life relationship journey kind of thing. So it's fine. It didn't blow me away, but it was better than I think I expected it to be.
Yeah.
And it kept me interested until the end. So
yeah, at one point I was like, man, this is feeling a little long, but then it started to wrap up.
Well, we also kept pausing it because we were doing different things, and so there was a lot happening that day we were watching it. So anyway, The Photograph will be out this week from Universal Pictures on Blu-ray and DVD.
And the DVD.
And the next one was a Netflix movie we watched.
And
it actually came out the beginning of April. We just not got around to it. I've been meaning to watch it for a while just because I'm a fan of Olivia Munn. And been a fan since back in the G4 days. She was just a silly, cute chick on the show who's kind of spawned off into something else with these other films. What is the guy's name? Sam Claflin?
Claflin.
Sam Claflin. That's kind of a mixed sound of the Geico. Affleck, not Geico, Affleck, and the Martians from Mars Attacks.
Oh my God.
Claflin.
You know, he's
Affleck,
a little.
Huh?
Anyway, the name of the movie is Love, Wedding, Repeat.
Yes.
And there's a reason why, and it's funny.
Now,
but his face is a little bit weird.
Well, it's because he's got big buck teeth, and so it pushes his not buck teeth. Sorry, no, he has kind of that mouth that comes out this way, very much like Freddie Mercury, where it kind of protrudes. Not as bad that way, but it kind of protrudes out. So his mouth.
And then I think he just looks so thin, maybe too.
Well, like
he's very sunken in, and that. But then he's got these huge dimples like this. So it's like
mine's are like that.
No, but his are like.
Mine's like that too.
I don't know. And
Look,
he's got wrinkle skin.
Look,
I see it, and then I just think he looks
anyway. Now the movie is a comedy, and I figured again this was another one that I wanted to watch it because she was in it, but I expected it to be a pretty throwaway romantic comedy kind of thing. So I didn't have high expectations. I was more intrigued by the fact that it was saying that it was telling a similar story a couple of times. So it has a Groundhog Day vibe to it, in the aspect of it retelling a story a couple times. What I was surprised though is it doesn't do it very much. It has one long aspect of the story.
Yeah.
Then it has kind of a montage aspect, and then it goes into a second aspect.
Yeah.
So I thought it was going to be throughout. It would get to a certain point, and then it would start over, and then it would start over, and then it would start over, and we'd get a lot more from each time. But it still works. I was worried at the beginning because I thought the abrupt opening felt off. Because you're thrown right in the middle with her and Amun and Claflin.
Yeah.
Together, finishing up a weekend. So I felt like we got into a place where we missed the movie. You know what I mean? Like I actually wanted to check to see if I'd fast forwarded it already.
Yeah.
So then I'm thinking, okay, we're going to go flashback and see how we got to this point. But instead we jump ahead.
Yeah.
And so that part felt out of place to me. Like I understand its point and you make sense later.
Yeah.
But I think its structuring
later.
I think its structuring was a little off. But once we get to the wedding.
Yeah. It's funny.
It is a funny ass movie.
It's not laugh out loud, hilarious, slapstick funny.
There's
it's
moments.
just, I know, but it's just what I like about it is it's like it's normal funny, like the real normal awkward things that happen at a wedding. So
some of them are a little over the top, but yeah,
I'll just give you the synopsis.
It's insane.
The sisters getting married, right? And so it's her and her brother.
Italy?
We're in Italy, I think. Yeah. And so she's like, I need you to help the wedding day go smooth. Great. Dealing with his ex-girlfriend, her crazy boyfriend. The maid of honor is a guy, and
it's her best friend.
It's the sister's best friend. But then there's this crazy lady that's in love with him, and he doesn't like her. And then there's Olivia Munn, who she's
a friend
of the sister, the bride. And so he likes her, but every time he tries to talk to her, something happens.
Yes.
There's the weird, crazy best friend that thinks he's a ladies' man, and he's not.
That guy is my favorite person of the whole movie. There's a running gag with his kilt, talking about, was it Jimmy and Jeff? Oh my God.
Hold on. And then there's the uninvited guest that shows up to the wedding, threatening to ruin the whole thing. There's the husband that's getting married, and the family doesn't really like her, but that's the whole thing. There's this funny old lady grandma
who doesn't do anything the whole movie.
She
just keeps getting stuck in the middle of whatever's happening.
And then there's the secret sleeping pill. There's
the roofie that causes the repeat part of the film.
Then there's the fancy movie producer. Somebody wants to be an actor and talk. So that's the setting of this thing. And I'm trying to think, this did not happen at our wedding. I don't think so.
Who knows? We didn't get to talk to those people.
Oh my gosh. So that's the setting.
And here's the thing. What's funny about the whole thing is Claflin and Munn are the straight characters of the whole movie.
Yes.
They basically are the ones that are having to interact with all these wackadoos.
Oh my gosh.
And some of my favorite scenes of the whole movie, there's two big sections that are my favorite part. Munn, every time she gets stuck with the guy in the kilt.
Yes, that's Sydney.
Because
right? That's this guy. Sydney. Yeah. His name is Sydney.
Because she's not comical, but her expressions and the way she deals with it, we've been there. We're dealing with somebody like that at a convention.
He comes at the very beginning. He comes up and he's like, "Hey, where's your date?" She's like, "Oh, I'm here alone." He's like, "I'm here alone too." And they high five. Right. But right as a high five, he's like, "Wedding buddies."
Yeah.
And she's like, "What is wedding buddies? What is wedding buddies?" He goes, "That means we're gonna hang out the whole wedding."
And he keeps talking about the fact that he's flapping free under his kilt.
And she's like, "Oh, are you Scottish?" She's like, "No." And she's like, "Well, why did you wear a kilt?" He's like, it's a lot of awkward discussions.
Yeah,
and he's talking about chafing.
Yeah, and like he'll there's a thing where he will ask her a question, and then but she's clearly kind of making fun of him, but while trying to be engaged. Thank you. So about Jeff or whatever, she goes, "No, so when Jeff such," and then he talks to her like she's stupid because he's like, "No, what?"
Yeah.
But he's always off-put. That's just one thing he does all the time. He's like.
And then she starts, he'll ask her a question and she'll not answer, but then he keeps talking and she's like, okay.
Which becomes an important point for his character later in the film.
On. It becomes a thing.
Yeah, and then there's other elements when she's with him and she's like, let's do shots. And so it's a different interaction almost every time they're together. And then my favorite part of that is there's one where Claflin is trying to save her. Let's go to the drink. He's like, okay. And so they all go to the bar together. So he tells the guy, look, if you don't mind, we need to talk alone. So he's like, so could you go on for a little bit? We need to talk.
And he's like, no, I meant me and her. And he's like, oh. He doesn't even
register. But there's that, and then there's
he's funny.
The sleeping pill situation.
Pill roofie thing.
What I loved about that is two different characters have to act the same sequence out, but they do it in a different aspect because they're affected by the drug. And so, anytime you have a movie where somebody's drugged or they took a medication or something, they start acting groggy or weird. So you have one whole story. It's one guy it's happening to. Then you have another story. It's when it does it again, it's happening to a different guy. And what they do is they get to like the main part of their story they get to, and it has a moment where it ends, and we both go, whoa. And then the narrator resets it, and so we go back to
who's the narrator, by the way? Because whoever that was,
like Helen Mirren.
I think it was, but oh my gosh! And then I liked Claflin, which is the brother of the bride. His crazy ex-girlfriend and her boyfriend are crazy.
That was Frida Pinto.
Was it?
I believe so.
Yeah, it is Frida Pinto. Her boyfriend,
which I didn't realize that was her.
Her boyfriend. Oh my gosh, this guy, Alan Mustafa.
He was awesome.
So fun. He is so good. Because the whole time he is convinced that she won't marry him because she's still in love with Claflin. He's like,
well, is
it got a big thing to me? And so the whole time he's making penis jokes. And it's like,
penis arguments about it.
But nobody's arguing with it. Except him. He's so
and there's a running gag of them talking about his suit too, because he's wearing a really nice suit.
I thought it was cute.
But they keep asking if it's about the cabaret.
Oh, or Penny Ryder.
Oh, I'm assuming the Oracle would be the narrator for this.
Yeah. Oh well.
But yeah, they're making they keep asking, "Are you in cabaret?"
Yes.
he's like,
I'm a music producer.
One of my favorite parts too is when there's the crazy that is in love with the best friend. Yeah. When she first meets the guy, she's like talking to the girl, and she's like, "Oh, at least it's not that last guy you dated, or such and such," and it was him.
Yeah.
And she's like, "Oh," and she never apologizes. She's just like, "Oh, that was you."
Yeah, she's, because she shows up, Frida Pinto shows up with her boyfriend Chaz. That just seems like a jerk name. Sorry.
And she's a douche, man.
She's mean to him. And she's like, "Oh, who's this?" She's like, "This is Chaz." She's like, "How did you find two boyfriends in a row named Chaz?" But then he's so dumb. He's like, "You dated someone else named Chaz?" I'm like, "Oh my God, this is one of those
such
movies.
A funny, fun movie.
This movie's fun. I love the little grandma.
Yeah.
She gets knocked over, she gets spit on. So many things happen.
It's just she's always
in the wrong place.
Walks in as something happens. And did you notice there's a recurring that other lady too? The random lady in the bathroom.
Purple flower top?
Yeah, that has the
where
bun.
she finds the guy, she's in the bathroom.
Then she's with him again in another scene.
Oh my gosh, she's funny too.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, this one is so funny. I love it.
It is. It's on Netflix. It's called Love, Wedding, Repeat. It is a fun movie. It's funny. It's not overly nasty, but there is.
Weird wedding.
Yeah.
This is it.
It's not overly nasty, but there are moments.
Yeah.
So it's not. I wouldn't really say it's kid friendly, but it's a fun little movie, and it's fast paced. I think that's what I like too. I like when the chaos is like right as something's happening, somebody gets yanked away because something else happens, and there's a lot of dragging people down the hallways.
Yes.
By their arm.
I love it.
Anywho.
So good. Yeah. Watch it. So. There's cake disasters. Everybody needs a cake disaster at the wedding.
Oh, yes.
So.
Love, Wedding, Repeat.
Watch
on Netflix.
Netflix now. Okay, next.
Olivia Munn looks really sexy in that green dress.
You are just in love with her anyway.
I am in love with her, but I like her. I think she's a good actress too. And I think what makes her, obviously she's physically attractive, but I think what really makes her attractive is she's goofy. She doesn't take herself serious, it seems, in some of her roles. I don't know her in real life.
Yeah.
She's kind of a nerdy. She's a Star Wars fan and a comic nerd fan. So she has all that stuff. She's like you. She has all that stuff together that makes that person that's not the norm. You know what I mean? Where she plays, like when she was on Newsroom, she was a very serious, straightforward character. You have something like this where she's straightforward, but she's still a little lighthearted.
Yeah.
And then you put her in X-Men and she's Psylocke and she's kind of a badass.
Yeah, she was cool in that.
Put her on G4 and she was doing silly stunts and goofy stuff, and so she's kind of all over the place. And I've always thought she was awesome.
Okay. What do we have coming out?
Oh, we're going there already? Okay.
Well, that's where we're at. That's all the movies.
We
have more movies.
Did you not have a quarantine
about.
movie this week?
My quarantine movie this week was actually me catching up on Star Wars, the Clone Wars animated series. Because I have not watched the whole new season or the lost episode.
You haven't watched season 6 or 7.
I am currently on season 2. I'm in the middle of the.
Now she's not watching the whole series. She's watching the recommended episodes
here and there. So,
she watched all the seasons before that.
Yeah, so I'm rewatching to get fresh in my brain, which I'm so glad I'm doing. There are some really good stories in this.
I rewatched all 7 seasons.
I just finished the arc with Obi-Wan. He was in love with the Mandalorian chick. And so, there's that one scene where she's being held at gunpoint or knife point or whatever. And she's like, I love you, Obi-Wan. I always did. And he responds like trying to throw the guy off, being like, I would have left the Jedi Order for you. Do you think you really would have?
Yeah, I think you would.
I think you would have too. I would have been like, Obi-Wan. Only if it's you and McGregor.
You would have been stuck with Alec Guinness.
Oh, I want you and McGregor. Anyways, continue. So that's where I'm at. That's what I've been watching.
Well, mine, I had a couple things happen. I had a movie I was going to watch this week, and I had mentioned last week that I planned to watch it. I got the movie out and everything, but I've been so enthralled in one. We had a whole lot of stuff happen this week, so we ended up not being able to do either Martial Arts Monday or TV Tuesday. Some of it good, some of it not so good.
Yeah.
But I had a movie pulled because I've been watching 30 Rock.
Oh, yeah.
The series from the beginning. I'm on season, I think I'm fixing to be in season 5 of 7. And so I've been on that thing. Well, there's an episode that spawned me to watch this other movie that I wanted to watch because they talked about it in the show. They showed clips from the movie. Then one of the stars actually showed up and it became this running joke. So I planned watching that. I was watching a series of movies from Martial Art Movie Monday. But I planned to watch Harry and the Hendersons.
That's so funny.
Because there's an episode where they're watching the end of Harry and the Hendersons, and then it becomes a thing where like Alec Baldwin's character quotes the speech that John Lithgow gives to Harry when they're trying to get him to go away.
Yeah.
He gives him this heartfelt speech of kind of like, I don't need you, I don't love you mentality because he's trying to save him. Right?
I see.
I don't know if you've seen Harry and the Hendersons before.
I think I have it. I don't remember. I was little.
It's a very heartfelt moment that like if you watch it, you'd cry because it's that kind of thing. Is like, I love you, but I'm trying to save you, so I hate you. Get out of here, And then at the end of that episode, John Lithgow shows up, and they come out and say, "Can somebody tell me that? Would you shut up, John Lithgow?" And they leave. So he's like very important through the whole episode until he actually is there, and then they just discard him. So it made me want to watch Harry and the Hendersons again. I got it out. I had it on the counter, everything, and then I never got a chance to watch it.
Oh, okay. Well.
So anywho, all right. So this week, there's a few things coming out. One of them we'll be talking about next week called Samurai Marathon. Hopefully we can watch it together. Okay. But if not, I'll watch it and we'll talk about it. It's coming out through Wellgo USA. The Photograph, which we talked about today, will be coming out. A movie called Vivarium that I really want to see with Jesse Eisenberg and Imogen Poots has them reteaming again. Nice. What other movie were they in together?
What does she look like?
You know who Imogen Poots is?
I don't know.
It's this girl right here. Imogen Poots. We're in The Art of Self-Defense together.
Oh, that movie was so weird.
Imogen Poots. Also,
Babe, you're giving me your Corona.
Imogen Poots. Also, Fantasy Island is coming Blu-ray and DVD.
I liked that.
I enjoyed that movie.
I hope everyone else did.
Then Shout Factory is putting out Idle Hands Collector's Edition. Why are you just yelling?
Shout Factory, you got to shout.
Oh, that's not. I didn't even hear you say that. I didn't know what you just screamed at me. Lucifer, the complete 4 seasons coming out.
I've been wanting to watch that. I just never did.
I never could get through the first few episodes. Then when
because of that guy.
Well, I just thought the show was stupid, and then I was like, and I realized it's him more than anything, because then when he shows up on Crisis on Infinite Earth, that big crossover, he has like a small scene. He annoyed me the entire time he was there.
It's his little.
So then somebody shared a clip of the show. And so I sat and watched the clip. I'm like, well, let me see what it is. And it's silly, but it was the most annoying thing. I'm like, I will never watch this show.
It's because of his little mustache, beard.
He doesn't have a mustache or beard.
I thought he had like a little spelt beard thing.
No. I mean, he might have stubble, but no, it's his. It's him. It's his voice. It's his dialogue. It's the way, and it's not just him. It's the show. It's the existence of the show too. The way he portrays Lucifer in the show. It has annoyed me.
Well, that is why you should not follow Lucifer.
That's right. And then also Harley Quinn, Birds of Prey, which was originally called Did
I watch that?
No, you have not seen it yet.
She annoys me. I'm sorry.
The movie is awesome. So if you haven't seen it, you should check it out.
He totally has this little beard stubble thing.
Well, in the episode I watched, he did not have it, but it's not really a beard. Like I said, it's a stubble that's sticking out.
I think because he's trying to look cool and svelte.
I don't care. His beard doesn't bother me. You keep bringing up his beard for some reason.
Is he trying to be too European?
Well, I think he's English.
Okay, that's what I'm wondering.
No, he's just annoying. Okay. He's an annoying human. Fine. I don't like him. Continue. I don't like Lucifer.
Good. That's a good thing.
Anyway, so Birds of Prey is hitting as well. If you haven't seen it, check it out. It's a great movie. It's a lot of fun. And I'm not a Harley Quinn fan, so I didn't expect to like it as much as I did. But it's a blast. It's kind of like Deadpool, but with Harley Quinn and her team. And then you got Rosie Perez, and you got a bunch of other people in there. Perez. So, like I said, I think you'll enjoy the movie. It's a fun movie.
We'll see.
Anyway,
all right.
What you got, sister?
Coming out on the line, we have Scoob. The new Scooby-Doo movie. I am excited. It's going to be streaming online. I don't even know where, but we're watching it.
Well, it'll be on Amazon stuff, but it'll probably be one of those $20 rental kind of things, so we'll pay for it and rent it.
Okay. Now, coming to Prime Video this week. This is interesting. The Seabird movie starring Kristen Stewart. So, I'm excited to see it. She's been getting better and better. That's limited. Also streaming on the line, something called Castle in the Ground. Don't know anything about that, but it does have Imogen Poots.
Does it?
Yes, and Nev Campbell, so you know I'm going to watch it.
Nev Campbell.
And I'm excited about you telling me about the potential Scream.
Yeah, there was talks that they've been talking about making Scream 5 for a while. The people that made Ready or Not are, I guess, writing and directing it. And apparently Nev Campbell's in negotiations to return. I really dug Scream 4. It bummed me out that it didn't do well. Scream 3 is not great, but I still like all of them. But I thought 4 was a really clever new direction for the movies. And it was supposed to be another trilogy, but it didn't do very well. So we'll see what happens with 5.
We'll see. Anyway, so that's what's coming up on the line.
We also have a movie we're going to talk about next week called How to Build a Girl.
Yes.
We were in the middle of watching. We didn't get to finish it.
With Beanie Feldstein.
Because my stupid son had to come over and be all happy Mother's Day to her. Mess up my movie watching time. Now, hopefully, he's going to be a dad next month.
Yeah, that's exciting.
You're maybe he'll leave us alone finally. I mean, you're going to be an old greasy granny.
I am. I'm going to be Nana Drew.
And you already got hold, and you painted in a big behind like Frank's
son. You can be Papa.
I am going to be Peepaw, and you're going to be Meatball.
I want you to be Papa, because I already call you Papa. Anyway,
no, I'm not going to be Papa. You call me Big Papa.
You're going to be Papa. Papa Smurf.
No, I'm not being Papa.
Papa Bobby. I'm gonna tell that kid your name's Papa.
No, I'm gonna tell the kid your Meemaw.
Oh
yeah. No. You're gonna be Meemaw.
No.
Not even Meemaw. I'm gonna tell him saying Meemaw, like a donkey. Meemaw.
Was this kid Pinocchio?
It will be.
Lord have mercy. All right. Thank you so much for watching this week's episode of Hollywood Matrimony live on Facebook and YouTube. Don't forget to find us on the Instagram and the Twitter. And most importantly, go to the website, HollywoodMatrimony.com. Check out the contest button at the top. There's always things. I don't know what's there right now. And then please read all the posts that we post on everything. But don't just like them. Go click on the link so it opens the web page, because that's how we get the counter to go up. Because the more hits we get to the website, the more free stuff we have. We have lots of free stuff, which we didn't get to give away at our convention this year. So
I've still got a big box of it, so there will be a post coming up soon.
Maybe we'll start giving some things away.
We had put up a post a couple of months ago, right when all this started back in March, where it said all you had to do is email me. I
got a thumbs up for free stuff.
I would send you a list of the stuff we have, and you could pick an item out of that, and I'd send it to you. And so I still have a box of it. So if you're watching the show, if you want something, go to our website, send us a message, or go to our Facebook page and send us a message through Facebook.
I want free stuff.
And I will email you the list of what's available, and you can pick something off of it. If it's not available, you have to pick something different. So we'll just see.
There you go. That's it. That's all I got.
All right. Well, I'm not going to promise that we're going to be back this week for Martial Arts Movie Monday and TV Tuesday. We're going to try. There's been a lot of things happening as of late with all the Corona stuff, and there's life stuff, family stuff, all kinds of things have been kind of interfering. So I have every intention of being here tomorrow for another episode of Martial Arts Movie Monday.
I am planning to do TV Tuesday.
We have an intention to be here for TV Tuesday, but we'll just see what happens.
So many things to talk about.
We haven't done the show in like 2 weeks.
No, because I know. So I watched this whole series on Netflix. I'm now super into Quibi. I'm watching my TV shows. I got to talk about finales of things. I'm so excited.
I came in there this morning. She was blubbering at her desk.
Oh my gosh. I'm watching some Quibis and I'm just crying my eyes out. I got to finish watching that. I'm trying to do this.
I was acting like our screen froze. Anyway, but if we don't come back for that for whatever reason, we will be back on Sunday for another episode of Hollywood Matrimony Live. But we'll do our best, posting trailers, posting reviews and news. We'll have her official review of To Catch a Predator.
To Catch a Thief, not To Catch a Predator.
That's what I said. You're so judgy. Why are you watching some weird Hispanic guy?
This is the president of Guatemala. He gives like a daily update on what's happening in their country. Okay. I love him. I don't love him because I don't know him.
Why don't you marry him?
What he's doing.
Why don't you marry him?
I don't know anything about his politics. I just like that he's keeping the people informed.
Anyway,
sorry.
So that's all. We'll see you next time. Make sure you hit the subscribe button here on the YouTube channel. Make sure you go and follow us on the Facebook.
Bye-bye.
And come to all of our stuff and whatever.
We love you. Bye-bye.
Peace and love.
Thank you.
You say I'm tired.
I know you are.
Bye.